Welcome to the Vetiver Vibes podcast. We're your hosts, Nikki Fraser and Rachel Dean, certified clinical aromatherapists. We are excited to have you here on today's episode where you know that you'll get the best essential oil scoop.
This episode is brought to you by Essentria, a leading online school for aromatherapy. If you want to learn more about how to become a clinical aromatherapist, check out the courses at www.schoolofessentria.com. Welcome to this week's episode of Vetiver Vibes. Nikki Fraser here with Kimberly Franze. Kimberly started Healing Wellness Path to inspire others to be the change they want to be by exploring new holistic modalities so that they can feel better about themselves. Kimberly is a recent graduate from Essentria and has enjoyed working as an aromatherapist and as a wellness coach. Passionate about aromatherapy, Kimberly has recently launched Healing Wellness Path YouTube channel where she enjoys sharing her knowledge in aromatherapy and wellness coaching. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, Nikki. Thank you for having me on. This is great.
Yeah. Love having our past students on. Always appreciate, putting a little bit of spotlight on our students and just bringing awareness to other aromatherapists also. So we do always like to ask all of our guests, what is your favorite essential oil?
Well, my favorite, I'm drawn to the woodsy scents. So I love juniper berry for the scent and for what it does for you. It is so amazing. It's my go-to actually oil for so many things, for sure.
Nice. It's not one I actually went through a phase that I would reach for it often, and I haven't reached for it for a while. So, spark my
Yeah.
interest in it again.
Yeah, so that was cedarwood and patchouli. Those are my, oh, yes, I just love that scent.
Nice, nice. So I'd love to know, what was it that made you think about becoming a certified aromatherapist? Actually getting that certification.
Yes, well, if we go back as far as I was 7 years old, I was always studying plants, studying nature, animals, and I have a science background, and I was searching. I actually was working, and I was unhappy, and I was searching, what can I do? And I want to go back to the essential me, right? What I love, my passion. And I didn't know much about aromatherapy. I started looking into it. I'm thinking, this might be something good. So I researched a company, and yeah, I am so happy to have gone this journey. And I've learned so much, and I am still learning, right? So it's a fabulous. I'm definitely did the right career change for sure.
Nice. I
Yeah,
like how, you said going back to your roots of,
exactly.
if you were at 7 already exploring plants and studying them, then it's almost like that full circle of just coming back and almost tapping into that inner child of, you knew back then and you just weren't ready for it yet.
Exactly. I didn't have maybe the confidence, or I wasn't sure if this is what I wanted to be, but yeah, definitely. And I always seem to study the medicinal properties, right? How you use them. I always was drawn to those movies we used to watch, right? And like, oh yeah, a medicine woman. I love to be that. And then just fell into my lab and think, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Nice. That's a great intro into, why that certification. And we'd love to know, what made you choose Essentria?
Well, I did a lot of research, and I like the fact you were accredited and you were affordable, and you also provide a tuition tax slip that helped a lot. But besides that, your outline, the two modules, you learn as much as possible about the plants, but also about the anatomy and physiology and the pathology. And I thought that was very well. I said, this is what I want. I want to go right into deeply. When I've learned something, I want to know all about it. And
Mhm.
that was what I saw in the course. And yeah, and good reviews as well. So I said, yeah, for sure, I'm going to give you guys a try.
Nice. Yeah, and a lot of people don't actually see the association with the anatomy and physiology and aromatherapy. But when we're working holistically with someone, we're looking at the whole body. And so when someone comes to you with, congestion, okay, well, you need to know how the respiratory system works and how everything works together, and really dive into it that way. And I mean, we by no means do you need to be an expert in anatomy and physiology, but just knowing those basics of how the body works, how the systems are intertwined together, definitely does come in handy when you are supporting people and making blends specific for them so that you are working on the right systems. And so,
Exactly, and that's what I've experienced. And also in the course, having that case study, I thought that was very, very well done because it gave you that opportunity to try and see and learn from all the information that's provided. So definitely, yeah.
are you referring to like the mock case study assignment, that one
Yes,
there?
yes.
Yeah,
I love that. Yeah, for sure.
I I love when we get those assignments because we start to see how you guys are thinking as students. Because we are online, we don't get to see our students, face to face, one on one. And so this is our first opportunity to really interact with students and seeing your thought process behind of what oils you're picking, why you're picking them, what you're recommending, how to apply, like all those reasoning behinds. We start to see that picture, and really seeing if our students are grasping it. So we always love reading those over and seeing how you grasp the information, and seeing the fun blends that people come up with also.
Oh yeah,
It's
I
always
would
nice.
would be definitely. I enjoyed every minute of it too, and I helped a lot of people during this process. And also, it's I like about that you're preparing us too for out there,
Mm, hmm.
right? So basically, when I graduated and I had my certificate, we also were able to say that how many hours we had and how many cases we actually worked on, and that helps with your credibility as well. So definitely.
Absolutely.
And I like that part of, Essentria, so
Yeah, no, awesome. And it is. It's important to have those live case studies at the end. Once we are confident that you're blending properly, you need to work on live people. And I always even say, when you graduate from our course, this is when the real learning starts. You do a lot of learning, absolutely. Like this is all the foundational steps. You become certified. But it's when you actually start working with live people, which you have those 30 live case studies that you need to do, but that is when the real learning starts, because people, one, don't always share everything on health histories. So then, as you're talking, it's like, oh no, and yeah, like I had this surgery 2 weeks ago. What? Like,
exactly, right?
like I've had people do that to me before of like, oh yeah, I just had like this minor surgery 2 weeks ago. Okay, well, no, this changes things. Like I can't necessarily use the same oils as I could if you didn't have, what was the surgery about? Like, people love to throw curveballs sometimes, and it's being able to think on the spot, but always having your database, always having your notes at your fingertips, things like that. But it is that's the real work. I always say is once you graduate and work with the real people out in society is the fun begins.
Yes, it is, definitely.
Would you say that there was something kind of surprised you in the learning process? Was there a certain concept that maybe was new to you that you were a little bit surprised or shocked about?
I think I was mostly overwhelmed at first because
Hmm.
I didn't realize what I got myself into. And then but then I loved it. I'm thinking, okay, but for myself is because I my age too, I thought, how am I going to learn this? I haven't been in school for so many years, right? And here I am, suddenly I have to do a lot of memorizing. And I found myself doing it. I enjoyed it, and it actually was actually helpful in so many ways, getting back into it. So for me, the surprising is how I was able to learn and how the detailed information and how much I loved it. That's and the outline, I really loved it. Um, and I was surprised, yeah, with the case studies too. I didn't expect that, and the thesis, the paper we have to write, and
Hmm.
all these things tie in so beautifully together. And for myself, I really enjoyed the course, and I surprised myself that way. I'm thinking, okay, I didn't think I would, and I was just taking, a chance in it and see if I'm going to like it. And here I am. Yes, definitely. This is the right course for me. And yeah, I've definitely helped me in so many ways, right? So,
Awesome. And, you know, what you mentioned there about the studying, you haven't studied in quite a few years, which is very common for a lot of our students. We hear that all the time when, I meet with a lot of students before they join too to answer questions like, I've been out of school for 10, 15, 20, 30, 40 years. And it's like, it's been a long time since I've studied anything. And especially the chemistry where it's like, I haven't done chemistry in high school. It's been a good 30, 40 years since I've done chemistry, things like that. And when you haven't studied in a while, it can be a little overwhelming, intimidating. We do try and kind of piece it out so it is simple, kind of step by step. But what did you find kind of helped you stay on track with your studies?
um, I'm really goal oriented and result oriented. That's how I am. And for me, it's I had my planner out, I had my calendar out,
Mhm.
and I set myself some goals throughout the whole course. And then and I had a few setbacks, of course. We get busy, right? But I kind of paced myself to take the exact 2 years because I wanted to not just learn it and move on. I wanted to really have a solid foundation.
Mhm.
And that's what kept me on track is my planning. And then just making sure like every week I completed something, right?
Mhm.
And the first thing I started with is knowing the essential oils. Let's really get to know them. And I kept rewriting it over. I had a notepad and rewrote the scientific names over and over. The properties, I tell you, the therapeutic properties, I had a hard time remembering. Like, I know it, but I don't. You know what I mean? There's
Yeah.
so many things you could use for one thing, but which is good.
Yeah, and that's where it's the practical application of the case studies, and that's why you have the mock case studies. It allows us to start looking at seeing how you're formulating things, how you're thinking, your thinking process. Whereas the live case study, like you're actively starting to blend, and it's when you start making blends is when it starts to go into that long-term memory more of, oh, this, lavender is anti-inflammatory. I can use it for this. And then you remember making those blends, which is really important.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, I like that how one thing a week, and scheduling it in, like you said, I think is super, super important. It kind of holds yourself accountable for it. If you actually have it planned out in your calendar, you expect it, time is set aside for it.
you have to. And at that time, I had like a full time job, had a family committed, family commitment, I should say. And then it was really hard sometimes to juggle that.
Mhm.
But I'm also a bookworm, so I like to sit down. I printed the information. I find that's a tip that's very important for some people. Maybe they might find that
Mhm.
um, that advice good, but I printed everything and put it in nice little sleeves, and that way I could sit down wherever I am and just study and
Yeah.
study. Yeah.
Nice, nice. Good tips. And so now that you are a certified clinical aromatherapist, has your perspective on using essential oils changed at all?
Oh, completely, completely. I went from not using it at all, not really knowing, to having my own pharmacy. So yeah, I use it for everything pretty much. It is such a go-to thing if something happens. And the interesting thing is the evolution of
Mhm.
from where I was and where I am now. Feel so much more confident in when I do blends. And then also my immediate family and friends who need my help before they would just, yeah, she's a aromatherapist, they
Mhm.
didn't really understand what it was, right? But
Yes.
now, especially recently, my husband had, I'll talk a little bit personal here, but my husband had an issue. And because of my knowledge with anatomy, physiology, and aromatherapy, I looked at him and say, hey, I'm thinking that you have an issue that you're going to have to go see the doctor and get an ultrasound done. So I'm thinking gallstones. It
Mhm.
looks like it because looking at his diet and every time he had an issue, I it made me think gallstones. So I made him a blend and he applied it, and right away he said, "I can't believe it. The pain is gone." And that's when he starts seeing me in my true light,
Yeah,
saying, wow. But I said to him, yes, but this is not a cure or treatment. You need to go to the
exactly.
doctor and get it. I'm here to improve the quality of life. And
Yeah.
that's what my family and friends are starting to see, what essential oil is actually. There's a lot of benefits from it, but it's not the treatment. It's just helping you get there. And a
Yeah.
lot of times it does. Like if I have the contact dermatitis or something, yes, definitely it can help treat that. But for something serious, like in this case, gallstones,
Yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah.
for now, it's interesting because my everything has changed in my household. Like I have some mornings I get up and suddenly I have 3, 4 people asking me, "Oh, can you help me with this and this and that?" I'm thinking, all right, this is fantastic. I love it. Oh,
That's
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah,
No, and it's always those aha moments when someone actually uses a blend for the first time and they're like, "Oh, these aren't like just smelly things. You're not just like, dabbling around with these weird smelly things. Like they actually have purpose and uses and they work." It's like, "Yeah, yeah, they do." It's not just like, little side
exactly.
it's there's therapeutic benefits to them. Absolutely. So it's always nice when people kind of get those aha moments and realize, oh, this is very soothing or uplifting or whatever it is the blend that you're making. But in his instance, that soothing of, oh, like the pain is
It's actually
it's
gone.
gone.
Yeah,
Like
it's
like you
kind of
said, it won't go to the root. He still needs to see his doctor for the gallstones themselves, break those up, whatever they decide. But at least his body can support himself without that discomfort until the doctor can do something, and that's the
exactly.
key.
Yeah, exactly. And now I see it's nice to see that, that they understand
Yeah.
exactly why I'm here.
And what you can do, and like you said, like so many
Exactly.
times, you said earlier of, the oils have so many, they can help with so many, one oil can help with so many different things. And that's the beauty of it too. It's like you can make multiple blends, or same blend can help with multiple things. When they start realizing that even more so, it's like, whoo, an extra level of I can use this blend on different things.
Yeah, it's funny as well too, because sometimes how for prescription they have a prescription for one thing and they can't use it for something else, right? And then when
Hmm.
I said, "Oh, you could use that same blend for that," they look at me, "Really? But you made it for this." No, but it's
It'll help for that though too.
it's multiple. It's not like a prescription where it's for certain things, right? So it's
Yeah.
kind of funny to see that that aha moment. It's like,
Yeah, I have one of those for my kids. It has lavender, frankincense, something else in it too. And so if they can't sleep, I put that on. But then also if they've hurt themselves or anything, if and it, a lot of times it's just like, oh, something's sore and they hit themselves on like a door frame or something. I think it was the
yeah,
other day. And I'm like, just grab your purple roller upstairs and put that on. They're like, okay. And it's just always like the purple roller. It because that's I have purple on it, and it's like their go-to for everything because it's the kid safe oil roller and it does work on everything for them pretty much. It's
it's
nice when they realize
perfect.
that.
It's great, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. So I would love to know, what are you working on right now?
Yeah, so right now I have decided to I love teaching. And I said to myself, you know what? Like just to go back a bit, actually, I used to live in a bigger city and I recently moved into a smaller community. And I knew by doing that it would be hard to actually have new clientele. It's without the awareness of my brand and so forth, right? So
You
I
need to know your neighborhood. Absolutely.
exactly.
Yeah.
And I have like a lot of like my friends and neighbors for sure, but I found that like I wanted to be a consultant, and I found myself, this is really not moving the way I wanted to. So I
Mhm.
started brainstorming, and I said, you know what? Let me try to do a video. And we had to do a video with the Essentria, with the course, and I enjoyed it. I was surprised. So I decided to start opening. I did my YouTube channel. I started that, and I did one video. And I'm thinking, oh my! And I said to myself, you know what? This is really fun. This is actually really fun to doing from scratch the whole thing, editing the
Mm.
video, which is a very steep learning curve, but I figured it out. And and posting it. And then it was, at first, it took me a long time to do the first one, but now it's becoming like a routine. I'm starting to
Mhm.
know how to do it, right? And by doing that, I find that I am learning so much more. I am, I feel like I'm teaching what I love, I have passion for,
Mhm.
and I am learning from it too. Because
Yeah.
now I'm trying new things. Because I went from, a lot of students probably start playing around with things, but I went straight to the marketing when I graduated. I got there, I went out and I tried, and yeah, and I had a few, clients and everything, but it was not what I expected. I
Mhm.
said to myself, I'm going to reach out further than my community. I'm going to reach out, and that's what I thought. Let's do a YouTube channel, and yeah, and now I just love it. It's definitely for me. And like I said, like at my, I don't know if you've seen what some of them, but I had one of the
Mhm.
lotion. That took me 4 different lotions I made before I fell in love with this one, and my entire family fell in love with it too.
Nice.
Like my mom, she's 81, and she said, "No, this works for me." So it's really nice to see that. So yeah,
And it is. It's a lot of trial and error when you're making blends, when you're formulating things, because on paper and in theory, you picture something and it's like, okay, yeah, that should work. But then when it comes together, it's just like, maybe not quite so much. So it is that trial and error before you can actually then record if you want to teach it. You have to test it. You have to make sure it's stable. You have to do all that, and then you can record yourself showing how to do it if that's what you wanted to do, like what you're doing.
yeah,
And
exactly.
and then, like you said, then there is a steep learning curve when it comes to videos. When we started doing, we had done videos before the podcast, so we had started a little bit, and then with the podcast, we do all the editing ourselves, all of that, and it's like there's a learning. You come in being an entrepreneur, and you're like, yeah, I'm an aromatherapist, oils. All of a sudden, it's like, oh no, you also have to do like. You're now a video editor. You're now like a
Yeah,
script you write your script for doing the videos. You do it all, and it is fun though. I'm happy you enjoy it. I
I
love
appreciate you.
doing videos also, and editing is almost, I feel like, become my second job also because I edit videos constantly.
Yeah,
But it's fun once you get into the routine of it. Like I said, the first one might be hard, but the more you do, the easier it gets. You get your little tips and tricks along the way of knowing how to do things faster and better. And YouTube's a great platform to put videos on.
yeah, it is. It's
It's easy,
definitely.
it's free, it has a huge reach, so it's really nice to be able to share out that way.
Yeah, and I'm thinking right now because of that, like I only started, like it's been like a month now.
Mhm.
So with time, my brand is reaching out to
Yeah,
people, and eventually, yeah, eventually we'll see where I end up going, right? So
yeah, and
yeah,
it's that consistency that's important, and that's like with any business, any kind of social media, videos, anything that you're doing. If you have consistency, then people will come and then they want to see more because it's like, oh, I like this. What else do you have? What else is in this little video playlist that you have? And then they start like binge watching almost videos, and then they're excited to see more videos come out. So it's always nice when that happens.
yeah. And I'm trying to do a little bit of everything. Like I'm focusing on aromatherapy, but also wellness because it ties
Hmm.
in too, right? So
Absolutely, they do.
and it's fun. I have so many ideas right now I have written down. I'm just sort of picking at it one at a time.
Yep.
And then I'm also toying with the idea of doing a mini course, and then
Hmm.
just that's a another learning curve.
Yeah.
Definitely how to do that. Yeah.
Awesome. I love that. Would you have like a success story that you would like to share about I know you shared the one with your husband, but would there be another success story of when essential oils had a big impact on yourself or someone else?
Yeah, let me think. I have a few. I have one that for there's a few. Which one should I pick? There's
It is sometimes hard to pick. Like, okay, which is the story of that you can remember the most also from it?
yeah, there's 2 things I could say. There's one is, with I have bronchitis. I get bronchitis easily. Drop of a hat, get sick to my chest, and I need an inhaler.
Hmm.
My success story for myself is that I don't need the inhaler anymore. Whenever I have a cold and I feel it dropping, I have my blend. I have it here: cedarwood, cypress, eucalyptus, and rosemary. I put that on, and it smells so beautiful. It
Mhm.
opens my airways, and I went from having to use my inhaler a little bit to not at all. So
Oh,
that's
that's amazing.
yeah, I love that. I definitely love that. And that a dermatitis thing that happened to me. That it was interesting. It was this rash that was horrible on my skin. I don't know how I got it, if it was outdoors or whatever. And I did put some steroids on it, but it wasn't working. So
Mhm.
I did this blend of copaiba, cajeput, that's how you say
Cage
it,
put, yep.
and Roman chamomile. And
Oh, nice.
3 days later, uh, so those are my little success stories. Those are my top blends I keep, like, whenever, and now I don't have to use it anymore.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Because it's done its work.
Yeah. And if you're out and about and go into some kind of bush and there's, poison ivy, poison oak, who knows what else, you could use that anything that would cause a rash again. You have that there already. You know it's worked for you, and you can try it again. So, which is always
Exactly.
really, really, really nice. So
Yeah,
awesome.
for sure.
Is there any advice that you would give to someone considering enrolling into a course and becoming a certified aromatherapist?
I would say go for it. We're our worst critic. Sometimes we put
It's true.
ourselves, like, for myself too, I say, "Oh, I don't know if I could learn this stuff. I have no time," or just try it. Go for it and take your time to plan it out, and don't panic. There's a lot to information, but have fun with it. Have
Yes.
fun, write it out, have fun, and then and play with it. Like, take your time. I know it's a bit expensive with the oils, but if you just
Mhm.
buy a little bit at a time, and you get a good discount too, right? With your aromatherapy
Mhm.
through Essentria.
Yeah.
But eventually, once you get those oils and you start playing around with it, it's so rewarding. It's I definitely go for it. Don't stop. Don't wait.
I
And
love that.
yeah, sometimes you think too much about it. And the same with me. And I said, no, this time I'm just going to go for it and complete it and see where it takes me. And yeah, and I'm so happy I did.
Awesome. I love that. And so, where is the best place for people to connect with you?
Yes, if they have any questions or anything, they connect to my email at
Mhm.
Kimberly at healingwellnesspath.com, for sure. And, or my website, healingwellnesspath.com. You can always send me a comment, or, yeah, or complete the form. And then, yeah, for
Awesome.
sure, I'd love yeah, feel free to reach out to me and pick it out.
Awesome. And we have all of those links below too. And to check out your YouTube channel, watching those videos, it's always nice to see what people come up with blends. Like you said, also with your wellness coaching and that type of thing too, which really, really does tie in nicely together. And so thank you so much for coming on the podcast today. Absolutely loved having you as a student. We are very appreciative. We love having you. We love having you come back on now and talk about it. And hopefully, we'll be able to connect in person at one point too. That would be an amazing thing to be able to do at one point.
Yeah, thank
Um,
you so much for having me on. This has been a pleasure.
yeah. Thank you to all of our listeners. And I hope everyone has a fantastic day. Bye, everyone.
Thank you for spending your time with us here at Vetiver Vibes. This episode was brought to you by Essentria, a leading online aromatherapy school. Don't forget to check out some of our free resources at www.schoolofessentria.com.
If you love this episode or you got a lot of value out of it, please make sure you share it with someone in your community who you think would enjoy it too. If you haven't already subscribed or reviewed the show yet, you can go on over to your preferred streaming platform and hit subscribe, then leave a review. This is the best way to help support us, and we appreciate it. Email us with a screenshot of your review, and we will send you a free guided meditation as our way to say thank you.
This podcast is for information purposes only. We are certified clinical aromatherapists and holistic health professionals. If you have a medication concern, please refer to your health team. Everyone's health is unique to themselves, so the topics and suggestions stated may or may not apply directly to you.